The other day we addressed the genealogy of Matthew and whether Asaph and Amos were mistakes or done on purpose by Matthew. And now we're going to talk about one other thing in his genealogy, and that is where it says, and from Abraham to David were 14 generations. This is verse 17. And from David to the Babylonian captivity, 14 generations. And from the Babylonian captivity to Christ, 14 generations. So were there actually 14 generations, or was Matthew trying to show us something through the numbers? Well, we know that Matthew actually skips 3 generations in verse 8 when he says a son named Joram who had a son named Uzziah. That's actually missing 3 generations, which, if you look back, there was a curse placed on Ahab, and we know that curses go down to the 3rd or 4th generation. So it's like removing those generations is showing the effects of that curse. And so could there be something else to this number 14? Well, we know in Hebrew, gematria, numbers are letters, are numbers, are pictures. The Hebrew alphabet is like that. So Aleph, the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, is the letter, let's call it A. It's the number 1, and it's the picture ox. There's the paleo picture actually right there. So what could that mean? Well, 14, the name David, let's say it this way, is Dalet Vav Dalet, which is the number 464, which if you add those together makes the number 14. So he's saying David, David, David in those 3 numbers. And then one other thing that he could be saying, so what is 14? It's 2 7s, and we know that 7 is God's number of perfection or completeness. So if we have 14, 14, 14, that's a 7 6 times. What does that make Jesus? The 7th 7. So perfect completion is that 7th 7. So 2 different ways to look at the number 14 that Matthew is pointing to in his genealogy, and to see that he's perhaps showing us something deeper than perhaps the actual count of generations in Jesus' genealogy.